In a courtroom drama that left fans stunned, Josh Efird faced a crushing verdict this week as a judge delivered a final ruling that has sent shockwaves through the Mama June family universe. The tense proceedings, which had been closely followed by fans for months, culminated in a decision that not only upended Efird's expectations, but also sent Pumpkin Shannon into visible shock. Witnesses described a scene of raw emotion, courtroom chaos, and family tension unlike anything seen before on reality TV. The courtroom drama didn't happen overnight. For weeks, rumors of impending court battles and legal maneuvers had been swirling. Sources close to the family revealed that Josh Efird had been attempting to resolve disputes regarding personal and financial matters, but each step seemed to push the conflict further into the public eye. Pumpkin Shannon, Efird's partner and a longtime reality TV figure, was reported to have been under immense stress leading up to the trial. Friends say she was nervous but determined, hoping that the court would deliver a fair resolution. Social media was abuzz as fans speculated about potential outcomes, with hashtags like #CourtroomChaos and #PumpkinShock trending across platforms. Eyewitnesses described a chaotic scene as the judge read the final decision. According to reports, Josh Efird remained composed initially, but the weight of the ruling quickly became apparent. Pumpkin was reportedly seen covering her face in disbelief, tears streaming as she struggled to process the implications. Court officials described moments of tension when Efird attempted to respond to the verdict. "It was one of the most intense courtroom reactions I've ever witnessed," said a court clerk who wished to remain anonymous. "You could feel the shock ripple through the room, both from the family and everyone observing." Insiders suggest that part of the shock stemmed from newly revealed evidence that came to light during the trial, highlighting complex financial entanglements and personal disputes that had been simmering for years. Following the verdict, reactions among family members were reportedly mixed. While some rallied around Pumpkin in support, others expressed frustration and anger at the outcome. Sources close to June Shannon, the family matriarch, stated that she was heartbroken to see her family embroiled in this level of conflict and feared that the fallout could last for months. Friends of Pumpkin say she is trying to stay strong but is deeply affected by the decision. Meanwhile, Josh Efird reportedly consulted his legal team immediately after the ruling, exploring possible next steps. Those sources say the judge's decision may leave little room for appeal. The verdict has ignited a firestorm online. Fans of the Mama June universe took to Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to weigh in. Many expressed sympathy for Pumpkin, while others debated Josh Efird's legal strategies and the evidence presented. Memes, video reactions, and heated commentary flooded platforms within hours of the announcement. One viral tweet read, "Pumpkin deserves better. That courtroom scene broke my heart. Pumpkin shock justice served," while another user wrote, "Josh Efird just got destroyed in court. Didn't see that coming. Courtroom chaos." Analysts note that the social media frenzy underscores the public's enduring fascination with the Mama June family and the high-stakes drama surrounding their personal and legal lives. The air in the Wilkinson County Superior Court was thick enough to choke on, a humid mix of Georgia heat and the suffocating tension of a marriage gasping its final breath. For 6 years, Josh Efird and Lauren Pumpkin Efird had been the stable ones, the rock in the churning sea of Mama June's addiction and chaos. They were the ones who took in Alana, Honey Boo Boo, Thompson when no one else could. They were the survivors. But as the honorable judge slammed the gavel down on that Tuesday afternoon, the illusion of stability didn't just crack. It shattered into a million jagged pieces, with Josh Efird standing barefoot in the wreckage. "The marriage is irretrievably broken," the decree read, a standard legal phrase that felt like a guillotine blade to the man standing at the defense table. Josh, clad in a suit that looked uncomfortable on his frame, stared straight ahead. He didn't blink. But those close to the defense table claim they saw his jaw tighten, a physical manifestation of a man realizing he had just lost the war. The courtroom chaos wasn't loud. It wasn't a shouting match like the one seen on Mama June, from Not to Hot. It was a silent, suffocating destruction. The judge's final decision contained a clause that was the ultimate humiliation for Josh, a detail that many overlooked in the initial filing, but one that signaled his total defeat. While the custody was technically split 50-50, a joint agreement on paper, the fine print delivered the fatal blow. The judge ruled that in the event the parents could not agree on major decisions regarding the children's education, medical care, or religious upbringing, Pumpkin would have the final tie-breaking vote. 4. It was a legal checkmate. Josh was a father, yes, but in the eyes of the court's decision, he was now a father with a muted voice. If Pumpkin wanted the kids in a specific school, they went. If she wanted a specific medical treatment, they got it. Josh could argue, he could plead, but the judge had handed Pumpkin the king's scepter. And then came the second blow, the one that sent a shockwave through the gallery. A gasp ripples through the few onlookers. The house, the sanctuary where they raised 4 children, where they filmed their reality show, where they hid from the paparazzi, was now Pumpkin's territory. Josh wasn't just losing his wife, he was being evicted. To understand the destruction in that courtroom, you have to rewind the tape. You have to look at the months leading up to the filing in August 2024. According to insiders, the walls of the Efird home had been closing in for years. The cameras captured the smiles, but when the crew packed up their lights and microphones, the silence was deafening. "We were roommates," Pumpkin would later confess to the cameras, her voice devoid of the warmth that once defined their relationship. "We weren't husband and wife. We were just 2 people paying bills and changing diapers in the same house." The romance had rotted from the inside out. Sources close to production revealed that Josh had been sleeping on the couch for months. The joint bank accounts were drained by the sheer cost of raising 4 children, Ella, Bentley, and the twins, Silas and Stella, plus caring for Alana. The financial pressure was a pressure cooker with no release valve. While the world assumed they were rolling in reality TV money, court documents painted a different picture. No alimony, no child support. Both parties claimed to make roughly $20,000 a month. But with a family that size, the burn rate was astronomical. Josh, a man who prides himself on being a provider, was slowly being pushed to the margins of his own life. He was the mechanic, the driver, the babysitter, but he was no longer the partner. And Pumpkin, hardened by the trauma of her mother's addiction and the death of her sister Anna, Chickadee Cardwell, had built a wall around her heart that Josh could no longer scale. She stopped fighting with him and started fighting for herself. And that shift was the beginning of the end. If the eviction was the nail in the coffin, the identity of Pumpkin's new love interest was the shovel digging the grave. In a twist so scandalous it would make a soap opera writer blush, rumors began swirling immediately after the filing. Pumpkin wasn't just moving on. She was moving on with family. The name hit the tabloids like a bomb. Darren wasn't just a random guy from the bar. He wasn't just a fan. Darren Kitchens is Josh Efird's cousin. The betrayal was biblical. Sources describe Josh's reaction as catastrophic. Imagine the scene. The ink isn't even dry on the divorce papers. You have 60 days to pack your life into cardboard boxes. You are losing the tie-breaking vote on your children's lives. And then you scroll through social media and see your ex-wife, the mother of your 4 children, cozying up to your own blood relative. It cut him deeper than the divorce, a family friend whispered to reporters outside the courthouse. Divorce is business. Dating the cousin? That's personal. That's an act of war. Pumpkin, for her part, remained defiant. In later interviews and social media posts, she shrugged off the controversy. "I'm happy," she declared, posting photos of her and Darren with the kids, Josh's kids. For Josh, seeing his cousin play stepdad in the house he was being kicked out of was the ultimate psychological destruction. It was a complete erasure of his role in the family unit. The Efird name was still on the mailbox, but the Efird men were at war. The judge's decision regarding the house was complex and brutal. The lease was in both their names, but the court order was specific. They had to work together to scrub Josh's name from the contract. He wasn't just leaving. He was being legally erased from the property. This presented a logistical nightmare for Josh. With the rental market exploding in Georgia and his credit tied to a joint lease, he was trying to exit, finding a new home for himself. And a place suitable for his 4 children during his custody weeks was a Herculean task. Reports surfaced of Josh scrambling, looking at rental properties that were a far cry from the family home. He was effectively starting over at 28 years old. No furniture, much of it stayed with Pumpkin. No home base. and the humiliation of the public knowing he had been given a deadline to get out. Meanwhile, Pumpkin retained the primary residence status. The children wouldn't have to move. Their toys stayed in their rooms. Their routine remained the same. The only variable changing in the equation was Josh. Let's go back to that moment in the courtroom. The chaos wasn't people throwing chairs. It was the chaos of realization. When the judge outlined the parenting plan, the reality of co-parenting 4 children under the age of 7 hit Josh like a freight train. The handoff, they had to see each other every week. There was no clean break. The holidays. The judge ruled they would split holidays, but in a bizarre twist of amicable agreement, they initially claimed they might spend Christmas together for the kids. But as the judge read the stipulations, the tension between Pumpkin and Josh was palpable. They stood feet apart, yet oceans divided them. Pumpkin stood with her legal team, looking resolved, almost cold. She had the look of a woman who had already mourned the marriage 2 years ago and was just waiting for the paperwork to catch up. Josh looked shell-shocked. He was the one who had stood by Pumpkin when Mama June was arrested. He was the one who drove Alana to school. He was the good guy. And now the legal system was dismantling his life, brick by brick. The chaos erupted in the hallway immediately after the hearing. Paparazzi and onlookers swarmed. Questions were shouted. Josh, where are you going to live? Pumpkin, is it true about the cousin? Did you really ban him from the house? Josh pushed through the crowd, his head down, ignoring the flashing bulbs. He looked like a man running for his life. Pumpkin emerged minutes later, sunglasses on, head held high, flanked by security. She didn't look like a victim. She looked like the victor. In the weeks following the judge's decision, the fallout was nuclear. Social media became the new battlefield. Pumpkin posted TikToks that many interpreted as subtle jabs at Josh, videos about leveling up and not settling for the bare minimum. She flaunted her new freedom and her new relationship. Josh went dark. His Instagram, usually filled with family photos, became a ghost town. Friends say he retreated to process the trauma of the last few months. But the most heartbreaking element of this story is the children. In the rush to destroy Josh in court and secure the assets, the reality of 4 young children shuttling between a family home and a dad's new bachelor pad is a tragedy in slow motion. The tiebreaker clause remains the most contentious issue. Legal experts weigh in, noting that while 50-50 is standard, giving one parent the ultimate veto power essentially renders the other parent a consultant rather than a co-parent. It's a power move, says family law attorney Sarah Jenkins, who is not associated with the case. If Pumpkin wants to move the kids to a school 30 miles away, and Josh says no, Pumpkin wins. If she wants to change their doctors, she wins. Josh has to live with the knowledge that his no means nothing if she decides to push it. The From Not to Hot saga has always been about transformation. June transformed her body. Alana transformed from a pageant toddler to a high school graduate. But the transformation of Josh and Pumpkin's marriage is the darkest chapter yet. It is a story of how the pressures of reality TV, financial stress, and family trauma can erode even the strongest foundations. Josh Efird walked into that courtroom a husband and a homeowner. He walked out a single man with an eviction notice and a cousin sleeping in his spot. The judge's decision didn't just end a marriage. It redrew the map of the entire Shannon Efird dynasty. Pumpkin is now the undisputed matriarch, holding the house, the kids, and the power. Josh is the exile, forced to rebuild from the ashes of a life he thought was permanent. As the dust settles in Wilkinson County, one thing is clear. The chaotic, heartbreaking, and televised life of the Efird family is far from over. But for Josh, the destruction is total. He has been legally, emotionally, and residentially dismantled. Mama June. Family Crisis stars Pumpkin, Shannon, and Josh Efird had been separated for months before divorce filing, both already dating new people. Exclusive details. Exclusives. Mama June. From Not to Hot / Honey Boo Boo. Any chance I can buy that shirt off you, Josh? My new man will look great in it. Mama June. Family Crisis stars Lauren, Pumpkin, Shannon, and Josh Efird may have shocked their fans when news broke last week that Pumpkin had filed for divorce. But it appears that the split has been in the works for a while. long enough that both parties are already dating other people. As the Ashley reported, Pumpkin claimed in her divorce filing that her marriage to Josh is irretrievably broken. By the time the news of the split surfaced online, Pumpkin and Josh had already figured out the bulk majority of the issues that come from a divorce, including how they will divide the costs for their 4 children. The parents have agreed to share joint custody of their kids, and neither will pay the other alimony or child support. "I'll wrangle them kids for a while, and then it's your turn, Joshy." According to TMZ, Josh and Pumpkin have had plenty of time to hammer out the details of their divorce. On Tuesday, the site reported that the couple actually split up months ago, and both Pumpkin and Josh are dating new people already. TMZ claims that Pumpkin and Josh waited to file for divorce until they had agreed on custody terms for the kids, as well as what will happen to their shared home. As the Ashley reported, Josh and Pumpkin are currently leasing to own the home they live in. The couple has decided that Josh's name is to be removed from the contract of the home, and he will have 60 days to move out of the residence. Pumpkin, who lists herself as single on her personal Facebook page, is reportedly dating a man named Darren, who lives local to her and appears to have several kids of his own, according to what the Ashley could sleuth out about him. Court documents obtained by the Ashley show that Darren and his ex-wife have a very interesting history. They were married in 2017, but divorced in December 2020. The couple then got remarried after their divorce, but divorced again in July 2021. It gets crazier. Darren and his ex-wife then got remarried for a 3rd time in March 2023, only to separate again in December 2023. Their 3rd divorce was finalized in February of this year, just months before he began seeing Pumpkin apparently. Darren is the father of several children by at least 2 women. More kids? Well, just throw him on the heap. Josh is said to be dating a girl named Keely, who also appears to have kids of her own and live locally. According to TMZ, Josh and Pumpkin and their new significant others get along well. Both Pumpkin and Josh are openly dating, so their relationship status is no secret from one another, the site reported. We're told the exes actually have a pretty friendly and cordial relationship following their breakup, though. There are no plans to double date with their new significant others. While Pumpkin and Josh's divorce will play out next season on their family's WTV reality show, since Mama June and the fam are currently filming for the show, it's unlikely that Keely or Darren will appear as of now. They all say they don't want to film. But once WTV waves that paycheck plus unlimited fried foods in front of y'all's faces, y'all be fixin' to film. Neither Pumpkin nor Josh have publicly commented on the divorce. However, after the news broke last week, Josh wiped his Instagram account clean of all his photos. Pumpkin has posted a few divorce joke memes to her personal Facebook page, but not released any direct statement. Mama June Shannon's daughter Lauren, Pumpkin, Shannon has officially won full custody of her sister, Alana, Honey Boo Boo Thompson, 16. In a new court ruling, the Sun can exclusively report. According to Georgia court documents first obtained by the Sun, a judge awarded sole custody of Alana, 16, to her sister Pumpkin, 22, away from their mother June, 42. Lauren Pumpkin Efird won sole custody of her sister Alana. Honey Boo Boo Thompson credit, Getty. Mama June Shannon was ordered to pay $800 in monthly child support to Pumpkin credit. YouTube/WeTV. In the final order issued in April 2022, the judge wrote that Pumpkin has had guardianship of the minor child since April 29, 2019. It is in the best interest of the child that the plaintiff is awarded sole custody. The judge ordered June, 42, to pay $800 in monthly child support to Pumpkin, beginning on May 1st, 2022, and to continue on the 1st of every month until Alana turns 18 years old. Pumpkin now has the right to make the day-to-day care decisions for Alana, and she has the sole decision-making authority for major decisions as well. Additionally, the 22-year-old mother of 4 will have the discretion to allow visitation between the defendant, June, and the minor. Mama June's daughters spend Easter together as famous Mom Snubbed. In the ruling, the judge noted that both parties had agreed to the arrangement that was set forth in the document. The young mother also just gave birth to twins earlier this month, as the Sun first reported. Josh Efird, 25, and Pumpkin certainly have their hands full, with son Bentley, 10 months, daughter Ella, for Alana and their newborn twins. June's battle with drugs spiraled out of control and came to a head when she was arrested on drug possession charges in March of 2019, along with her boyfriend at the time, Gino Dope, 46. Pumpkin was awarded temporary guardianship over Alana in August of 2019, with permission from Alana's father, Mike Sugar Bear Thompson. In her drug addiction, June sold the family's Georgia home at a loss for fast cash in October 2019. June now claims to be nearly 2 years sober. In other big news for June's family, The Sun exclusively reported earlier this week that the reality TV matriarch tied the knot with her new boyfriend Justin Stroud in a secret courthouse ceremony in March. A clerk confirmed to The Sun that the Mama June, Road to Redemption star, and her new man, 34, quietly tied the knot at a Georgia courthouse on March 23rd. June and Justin had been dating for just 6 months before they said, "I do." The couple sparked rumors of an engagement after they shopped for rings together at an Alabama jewelry store in March. In an exclusive interview, the reality star matriarch recently told The Sun about her relationship. "We've known each other going on a year now. We were best friends, and we decided to take it to the next step in the last 8 months, June said. The mother of 4 praised her new love for helping her after she ended her volatile relationship with her troubled ex, Gino. "It's been amazing, he's helped put the pieces back together," she said of the auto mechanic. As The Sun previously exclusively revealed, Justin was arrested on an outstanding warrant in Florida in February while attending an event with June. The loved-up couple was attending a party when police finally caught up with Justin, who had been evading authorities for months. Vendors pushed back as holiday market roasted for $24 room temp hot cocoa. 5 best stocking stuffers from Walmart's Black Friday hitting stores today. The warrant was issued back in October after Justin violated his probation on drug and burglary charges.